Hey ManCave, this is Bob from DaBob's N-Scale ManCave, and I am building this huge White Pass Yukon bridge replica. I've actually made it bigger. It's 8 feet long, it's triple track wide, it's huge. And you have just got to see how I put it all together starting right now. So as you can see, this bridge is going to take a lot of work, and I'm doing it all in one piece. It's building an 8-foot long bridge, all solid. And so what you have to do is build a template. So I got a long piece of wood. I probably should have gotten an 8-foot piece of wood, but I got a 6-foot piece, and I just used that as my template because I was still trying to figure out if I wanted it that long and everything. But once I had that template built, I could expand onto it and make the bridge its complete final length. So I've got a table saw, cut some lines after I built my whole plan in SCARM, got everything lined up where I wanted it. A lot of testing and making sure everything's just lined up and marking it down, measuring it, and getting it all planned out. But once you got it all planned and you cut your template, the next thing is assembly. And so I'm going to show you how to put it together right now.
So let's get started. After I put all those pieces and cut all my slots in here, I started putting in all those cross braces down below because they're going to be at the bottom, and as you can see they're all in there. And then I just put some glue, the monster, well actually the Gorilla Glue. It's like a monster, but it's more Gorilla Glue, wood glue. And I just kind of used my little bottle to put that stuff on where I was going to lay my stringers across them. And as I did all that, kept on going. Make sure you want to prep your wood, get that black barcode off of there, just scrape it off. And when you're ready, you just start laying all those stringers down on top of your glue. I used the 24-inch pieces. Since I need 4 of those to go 8 feet, it works out perfectly, and that's what I ended up doing. So just lay them all down in there nice and flat, and then I staggered the middle ones so that they wouldn't all have a seam in the same spot every 2 feet. So about 1 foot in, I started my middle section. After that, you put some weight on it and glue it all down, and it makes it go a little bit easier as it glues. And I just happen to use this ballast. When it's done, you just kind of get your screwdriver out and kind of pry it up through the slots. It's a good idea to make those slots just a little bit wider than the wood. And then I was going to put some edge pieces on there because it's got to be wider, and there's always got that like a sidewalk on the side of your tracks for the train to kind of go on, or workers and so forth. Gives a little bit of safety barrier on the edges. So I added in more strips, and you basically glue the ends and glue those down as you butt them up against the other pieces. And I used the 1/8 by 3/16 by 24-inch basswood. Just stick it in there and set it down. Make sure it's all nice and flat. I used the chopper to cut up a lot of the little everything basically. And I'm making the decking pieces right here. I'm cutting 3 of them at a time. They're 1/16 inch square.
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm pre-positioning all these deckings with some space in between them using the same size sticks. I got some shorter pieces that I basically have made into sort of a comb kind of thing here. Taped them down Put a little tab up here so I could lift it up easily and maneuver it around. There's 6 sticks wide, and so I can have 5 gaps, so I can stick them between 5 other sticks. And just basically slide them in, scrunch them together, and put a piece of tape across the top right there to hold them in place. And I'm basically daisy chaining them together, so it's like one fan folded piece here. And then when I get ready to glue them down, I'll just lay the glue down where I want it to be. Lay my sticks down, and since I have them all pushed up against a nice straight edge piece of aluminum right here, I know exactly where they're going to be, and I can glue them all down. So I widened my comb out to 11 pieces, which will hold 10 pieces at once. Move things along a little faster, I think.
Okay, time to glue down the decking, and I did it in little sections, probably about 2 feet at a time, and I put the glue down on all the stringers going across, and just laid down my taped together decking. It was pretty easy. Just kind of laid it right down and put some weight on top of it to let it dry, like some of this ballast, and just let it sit there for a while and let it dry. And of course you gotta, well, sometimes it doesn't get all glued down, but you just pull the tape up when you're all done and you're pretty much good to go. And as you can see, this is the final product. 8 feet long, and there's different colors of stuff in there, but it looks good once it gets stained.
Stay tuned for part 2. As you can tell, this is just the top of the bridge, and at this point you really should stain it at the minimum. If you haven't already stained those pieces before, stain them before you glue them down, especially the top pieces. Stain them before you glue them down, and you'll really appreciate it if you do, because it's really tough to stain it when you have it already glued down. It isn't impossible. It's better to do it right now if you're, got ahead of yourself. So stop now and stain, because the prototype bridge, everything below that is metal, and you may want to paint that. You may want to have a different color of stain on there to make it kind of look more of a metal, especially if you're using wood. But if you're trying to make it look real, it's more of a silver and grayish color with some rust pieces here and there on the bridge as you're trying to make a prototype of it right now. If you're trying to make a working one of way back when, you're going to want to make it all silver or a kind of a gray. So hope you enjoyed this, and click to subscribe, or get that bell rung so you can get notifications when the next part comes out. And as always, ManCavians, happy model railroading, and stay off those tracks. Bye.